doing the proper intro where Shep got one of his weird
This
to play.
is the next big pod.
Tat and Nini, scores a contest, 112, 115. Paul Thomas, 112, 115. Donald Turner, 113, 115. 112, 115. And champion of the world from Cambridge, Scotland, Ricky Bones. A dream come true for Ricky Bones. A huge shot in the arm.
I laid out the blueprint. Yes, they gave him the decision. They gave him the fight. He beat me, but the blueprint is right there. Just look at it. I took it out of the vault and I handed it over to Canelo Alvarez.
To be honest, Darren's the biggest bomb inside boxing, and the reaction to David Price after Rory calling me out on midget, yeah? I'll fight David Price any day of the week. You see, you former from Liverpool, it's personal between you, and I'm going to do you some serious you big stiff idiot, okay? Alright, thanks a lot.
No, brilliant, like I say, for the centre of South Coast Community Centre. Amir Khan gets the big fight with Pacquiao and the world champions, the lads that are coming through. It'll be a fantastic. I equate this to the Crunk in America way back in the time.
You know what? Fuck Joe Gallagher.
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 I got him in a cage right now. Not the cage.
The plan is to have Algieri knock Pacquiao out.
Yes, but I still got him in a cage. He listens to me very well. I'm gonna let him listen.
Round 10?
Round 10 or 11.
Now we have one other thing to do, and that's to fight Thomas Hearns. And I'm planning on breaking every bone in his body.
But what works is they're going to go and face Leo Santa Cruz. I told them, and I told them on Wednesday, you're not going to get Santa Cruz. Like I told them, you're not going to get Martinez.
Now, coming to you live, the next big pod!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 49th edition of the Next Big Pod. 49-0, TMT. We're still standing. Got a large panel on with me tonight. We've got Brian, we've got Andy, we've got Leon from the Coalition, a friend of the show, Ainsley, Tom, and Carpy. So if the sound quality is not that good, please let us know and we'll turn Brian's video off because he's being selfish as usual.
Fuck police.
Right, so I guess we'll start off in Vegas, go from the top down. Who wants to jump in on Khan Canelo first?
Shall I do it or what?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. What did you think?
Good fight. The undercard was pretty shit. So it's a good job it was.
Well, you're talking shit already. I thought the undercard was actually pretty good. But
I didn't, but whatever. Yeah, no, good fight.
Bomb.
No, good fight.
Yeah, did you enjoy the main event? Did you enjoy the Khan strategy, the knockout, anything?
Yeah, it was all good. Well, I was pleasantly surprised by Khan because I thought he was just going to do a lot more running than he did, but possibly he should have done. Well, he should have done really, but he didn't make a cunt of himself by a long shot.
No, I thought he landed a couple of good punches in the early round.
I thought, and I sent it to Carpy before he came on, the first right hand he landed, fucking Canelo seems a bit like, ooh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't fucking do that again. Because he just walked straight up to him and got fucked with one, but he made Canelo look stupid at times, not for an entire fight. I don't think it was, a lot of people seem to be saying now it was like a schooling until he got knocked out, but he wasn't. The 4-1 card to Canelo was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did you have it scored? When
I think I had Khan 3-2. I wouldn't argue for Canelo 3-2 or Khan's 4-1.
Yeah, there was some close rounds in there.
like a lot of people sort of discounted the bodywork of Canelo, saying, but obviously you can't do that. It wasn't clear one way or the other, really, was it? But the rounds where he got stopped, he was getting hammered a fair bit. So
yeah, but I found Stam, bring you in, mate. I thought the fight went downhill very quickly for Khan around sort of the 4th round, and then the 5th round he was really on the back foot, and then obviously stopped in the next one. But he didn't gas. It just seemed like Canelo figured him out at that point.
So, I thought he did gas. Toward midway through the 4th, or a minute into the 4th, I thought to myself, he's noticeably slowed down a touch. Whether that was, like Ainsley said, the body work finally caught up a bit, because he was getting touched up to the body in all the rounds previous. I don't know whether it was that that slowed him, or maybe the weight caught up with him a little bit, but he slowed enough. He slowed enough just so that Canelo could close that gap. And as soon as he did close that gap, it was just a matter of time before he did get clocked. The way he got caught, it wasn't necessarily a chinny thing. He got caught with a shot he didn't see that was perfectly executed by Canelo, and you've got to give Canelo props for that. As much as we're not all massive fans, or we don't all think he's world level. Well, he's definitely world level, but he's not elite, is he? But it was very. The best credit I can give to Khan is that Canelo knew he was in a fight for 5 rounds, which a lot of people just thought he'd steamroll Khan, it'd be over in a round or two, similar to sort of Angulo fight. But I was really impressed by Khan. It's just a shame that he hasn't got the ability where he can carry a plan out 12 round perfectly, like Mayweather did, for example. But it was a really good fight while it lasted, and I really enjoyed it. I always thought
never really had the ability to stick to a game plan, has he?
No, he can't do it. He couldn't do it against Garcia. He couldn't do it against Lamont Peterson. He just
Maidana. I watched that fight on Saturday to prepare, and he fucked the game plan up in that as well.
Yeah, he's just not able to do it. But everybody was saying how much of a gross mismatch it was, and I think Khan deserves credit for making it not a mismatch for the 5 rounds, if you know what I mean, because he looked so much smaller, like in the body and that. He looked tiny compared to him. Although he's a little bit taller, his neck is ridiculously small compared to Canelo's. His shoulders are much smaller.
I don't think he is taller now.
He's like half an inch taller.
So
there's not a lot in it, but
Canelo's quite short. Canelo's quite short for the division.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's just HBO because they're famous for fucking nonsense that's up, but I had the HBO feed on and it said that Canelo's like an inch taller.
Well, either way, anyway, I was saying to Ainsley beforehand, you don't often get like conclusive finishes in these like big Vegas fights, do you? It's usually a 12-round sort of decision, like a bit of a damp squib and that. But it's nice to see fights that do end on like a massive knockout punch.
Yeah, especially when the guy's all right afterwards, because I mean, it did look a bit like Hatton and Pacquiao for a while, didn't it? Like when he just wasn't moving, it was a bit worrying. Like,
yeah, Brian wanted to get onto this later on about if it's better to get knocked out with a single shot than to take like a sustained sort of beating, like Blackwell did against Eubank.
Let's debate it later, because I think that plays in with the undercard quite well, with some various people on it.
But overall,
yeah.
I'd just say I thought the card was decent, and I'd give the main event like a solid 8 out of 10. It was fun.
Yeah, I think if I paid 50, what did they pay in America? $80 for it or something. If I paid 50 quid for that, I probably wouldn't be complaining. I mean, apart from the fact that 50 quid is too much anyway.
Yeah.
In the current market, I don't think.
Like if it was a Sky pay-per-view like $16.95 or something, you'd have heard no complaints from me.
Yeah.
I had that fucking went mental if it was $16.95.
No, but I'm saying like if the Yanks was paying $16.95 and we was forced to, we had no choice.
But that's because the Yanks are dumb as fuck and they pay for that.
No, but
there were a number of decent fights that I enjoyed on the undercard. There were some like meaningful fights I thought on the card, and yeah. Anyway, Brian, what did you think? What did you think of Khan first of all?
I was surprised. Like, see, I didn't stay up to watch it, but I got up at maybe like 6 in the morning, and I think I tweeted while watching it that Canelo looks fucking awful, but I've been on record. I was on the asylum and they asked me, somebody posted a question, who do you think's the biggest hype job in boxing? And people had their picks. I don't know if it was like Danny Garcia, like Wilder and stuff like that. And I picked Canelo, and Canelo's alright. He's got like decent skill. He knows how to move a wee bit better than he used to. His feints and that are fine, but see for the size of the boxer that he is, the fan base he's got, and I need to take all that into consideration. I think he's fucking hyped to the maximum, man, and he's nowhere near as good as people like to make out he is, and Khan made him look terrible, and I need I need to give like Virgil Hill, junkie bastard. I need to give Hunter a bit of credit here. I didn't think like Khan could get any better, but he didn't look the same Khan. He was boxing far better. He wasn't getting reckless where he was like staying in like distance and just throwing Hunters up punches and just eventually getting caught. How we get caught was he was basically trying to counter like Canelo's jab and basically trying to counter that, right, and it just didn't work. And as usual, he get hot with the overhand right. I don't think he's ever going to get rid of that because he gets hot with that punch every single time he fights somebody, and that's just it. Most boxers have got something that they never ever get away with. No matter how many times they train, they go to a different trainer. Like just some boxers will just not listen. But
I find Brian, Khan will always end up throwing a punch from too far away at some stage. Do you remember that uppercut against Garcia? He threw an uppercut from like a meter away, and it was just like terrible technically. Yeah.
I found like Canelo was doing that more often though. He was like kind of fucking lunging in with like a hook, like from about fucking 20 feet away, trying to connect with him, and Khan was just like kind of moving backwards and then to the side to get away from it. But what I did notice was, I think it was the round before. And I tweeted this, and somebody says he notices that Ward does this as well, but because Ward's got far better balance and he's used to it, he does it better. But Khan moved straight back, but he skipped, and his 2 feet were off the ground while doing it. And I was like, if somebody just kind of moved in there while punching, he would be off the ground, off balance, and he'd be going on his arse right away.
Naz against Barrera. Do you remember when he was jumping and Barrera caught him?
I see for a professional boxer, he fucking still doing that. Remember Wilder done that? Was it Duapis or something like that? He was like fucking moving in, throwing punches well off the ground. He was swinging lefts and rights well, jumping off the ground. It's fucking so amateurish. And you would think a guy 29-year-old wouldn't do that, but like, as that boy says, he might just think that's a Virgil Hunter thing. But I thought Canelo looked fucking terrible. I thought Khan looked a lot better than he did. And Ainsley's my witness. He's a Brook fan. I hate Brook, and I always pick Brook to beat Khan. But see, and it's maybe just Khan all over. He looks good for so long, then he gets caught. But I think he would give fucking Brook serious fucking issues the way he boxed for the first 5-6 rounds. And I know people turn around and say that if Canelo hurt any other middleweight with that punch, would they get down? No, they wouldn't. They just wouldn't. I can guarantee you, if Golovkin get hot with that punch, it wouldn't go down. It was a peachy punch, but let's remember, Khan's already been knocked out with smaller guys that don't hit as hard as Canelo, and Canelo was a light heavyweight in there. I don't know if he was a light heavyweight. There's some rumours saying that he was even 180. I don't believe that, because that just sounds like fucking Twitter rumours, but he was a light heavyweight in there, and Khan just isn't a light middleweight. He's a welterweight at a push. So I'm not one. Sorry, just to finish up, then I can give something else. I'm not one of the people that kind of, it's like, you know how like it's a British trait where lucky loser, where you give somebody credit for losing, but he looked decent in there. He done better than I thought he would, and Canelo looks worse. He just seems to look worse, man. He looked actually worse v Khan than he did v Cotto. I tell you that right now. And Golovkin's going to fucking mutilate that wee ginger bastard. Are you hearing me? Yeah! Come on, GGG. Let's fuck this punk. Yeah.
I feel like there were a few people saying afterwards they just don't think Canelo's improving, really, and I think that's probably right. And I think that might be down to the weight, because I think he's draining himself to make one fight.
Aye. So basically he's draining his tail to duck Golovkin, that's it. And I said, I don't have him in my top 3 middleweights. I don't. I would pick Saunders over him, because I think Saunders can box him all night, and Saunders can take a punch. Whether people like Saunders or not is another matter, but Saunders can take a punch, right, and he can box. Maybe it gets caught in the later rounds, but Canelo gasses as well. I never had any faith in Jacobs.
Saunders isn't getting a decision though, mate. Yeah. Canelo would beat him on the card, like no question.
But in my mind, Saunders would win, and I wouldn't pick Canelo over Jacobs.
That's a good fight, actually. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a toss-up. Yeah.
Canelo Lemieux.
Well, that might be what they make next, isn't it? But
yeah, but I my initial thoughts after Saturday night, I thought, well, I still think now, I've not changed my mind, but Lemieux's going to bother him.
Yeah,
he's not going to take walk that. He's limited, but
Canelo could outbox him. I think
he was throwing a fair amount of punches against fucking Tapia, and obviously he's got a decent amount of power, so Canelo can't just stroll through him.
Yeah, you give him something to think about. I agree. Yeah.
See, before Leon comes in, what about like Lemieux versus who was it?
Lemieux versus Eubank is the fight.
No, who was it fought?
Absolute war.
Who was it fought at the weekend? Eubank, fucking Lemieux and
Stevens.
Curtis Stevens.
He didn't fight Curtis Stevens.
Is a good fight. Yeah.
Who did he fight at the weekend? I can't even remember his name.
Who did who fight?
Texera.
Yeah. Sheriff fought Stevens.
Yeah.
You're just writing off fucking names. Who did Lemieux fight?
Tapia.
Right. How fucking nice looking was that fight? Went it? They were two hot as fuck dudes. What about fucking Grin? What about them being in the middle of the name? Just get the two bobbies and get it. Yeah.
Calm down.
Right.
Jay Quigley was on that card as well.
Andy, can you get involved here? Straighten Brian out, please.
Aye. I thought the Can fight was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought Can for the first 3 to 4 rounds. I thought he done really well. He circled out and then he darted in. He was landing combos. I noticed. I think it was at the start, the end of the third round. I noticed that Canelo's eyes were quite marked up as well. So I was quite surprised at that.
That's the weight as well. Honestly, that's draining weight from his fight.
I wasn't expecting them. If anything was like that, I would have thought it would have been the other way about. But I thought Can performed well. He did just seem to tire. But see, one interest. See, the very end of the 5th round, Canelo caught him. I'm sure it was a left hook to the body. It might have been a right hook. Sorry. And you could see Can just backed off maybe about 3 or 4 inches, and you could see I kind of noticed. I'm like, that's been a shot that's hurt him. And then obviously he comes back out at the start of the 6th.
And his hands were lower, weren't they?
Aye, I just see, I thought he could, but basically maybe the 5th and 6th, I'd probably put 4th, I think I had it 4-1 at the time, 3-2, sorry, to Can. But I did feel as if Can had done really, really well, and then it was just a punch. It was you get caught with a punch like that, it doesn't matter if you've got a chin or you've no. It's one of the punches. It's putting you down, no matter who you are. It's thrown with such conviction in the way it's landed. You've been done either way with that shot. It was that good a shot. But one thing I did pick up on is, and it's interesting that if they go and fight Gennady Golovkin, see the way. I noticed it during the Cottle fight as well. See Canelo's footwork. It's not the greatest at all. He kind of, I wouldn't say he's pedestrian, but he walks in straight lines and
he's forwards and backwards, isn't he?
Aye, he's not got much movement in his footwork at all. And if he follows Golovkin around the ring like that, you get fucking blasted out. No doubt about it.
The way I see the Golovkin fight, and obviously we'll get onto this in more detail later, but just quickly, I see that Golovkin has multiple ways he can win that fight. Do you know what I mean? I think he can box and easily win. I think he can take him out, maybe slow him down a little bit with some body shots, and then he can take him out to the head. I think Canelo would have to have a proper legendary night to win that fight. Probably need help on the judges.
With that fight, it would be quite similar to the Lemieux fight. I think Canelo would just box and work behind the jab, and I think, in my opinion, Canelo would eat Golovkin's jab. The full, however long that fight goes, he would just constantly eat it. I don't think there's any way him getting out the way of that jab, and if he's working off that, it's just going to be one winner.
He's never been able to deal with a jab, has he? Why
would they want to eat his jab? That'd be fucking stupid.
The Trout fight, when Trout was jabbing and not having to go for the KO first 9 rounds, he was Canelo never found a rhythm. Lara screwed him up with the jab at times. Floyd obviously absolutely dominated him, 90% using the jab. And yeah, to me, he doesn't really look like he can get around it. If you've got I tell you what, a guy like Ike Corte would give Canelo an absolute nightmare. I think he would absolutely destroy him because the jab would just be in his face all night. He wouldn't know what to do. He'd probably win a decision still, but he wouldn't know what to do in terms of the actual fight itself. Leon, mate, are you still there? Sorry, it's taken a while, but
oh no, I'm here.
You fucking slag!
Fuck off, Brian. Don't start on the Mitchell shit yet. Save that for later.
3 fingers.
Oh, legend.
What did you think, mate? Were you impressed with Khan?
I was impressed with Khan, but Khan was landing at will on him. So in those first 4 rounds, and then it just looked like someone hit him with a tranquilizer dart. and he just slowed down, and he seemed scared to throw punches in the 5th round. And yeah, I think maybe the bodywork was getting to him, but I thought Canelo was horrible in those first 4 rounds. He was wild. He was missing with big shots, and missing by a lot as well. I was impressed with Khan, but he had no business being up there, and that's what happens. You're going to get sparked out because it's not your weight. You shouldn't have been, whatever that fucking weight is anyway, you shouldn't have been up there.
I do think, in terms of, we all thought he'd get stopped in the middle rounds, didn't we? I think we all picked around 5, 6, or 7. I saw that was the 6th round was a huge amount of people picked the 6th round as when it would end, and they thought Khan might win a couple early and then they'd slow down. But I think, considering it was a physical mismatch, it was about as good as it could have been, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's as much as you could have enjoyed it, because he did well, showed up Canelo's obvious flaws, because I'm with Brian, he's a massive height job, and the whitest man I've ever fucking seen in my life. How white is he? He's like, moths must fly into him. Yeah, no, and the knockout was spectacular. So, I mean, what else would you want from a fight?
When you say he's hyped, do you mean he shouldn't be as popular as he is, or
no, he's allowed to be
not that good, or?
Oh no, I think it's, him being popular. That's just by the wayside. It is. I just think skill-wise, he's been beating up little men. Let's be honest about it. He's been dragging people up. Whatever weight division he's been in, he's been fighting a smaller man. Pretty much.
Other than Lara and Austin Trout was a
they were decent.
Junior middle, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you can say debatably he lost one of them, and the other one was very, very close.
And then the other one he fought the right way was Angulo, and he was just dead, wasn't he? So he was.
That was 155. That was the first 155.
Yeah.
Remember the day before Canelo bumped it up to 155. He said he had to put it a pound up, and everyone sort of thought that was a bit strange, but it must have been like an error in their camp. And then from then on, with Lara, he said, "Oh, I'm not interested in making the stupid limit. I don't need the belts." And he's been at 155 ever since. It's a bit strange, but yeah, I mean, I actually I had money on Angulo to win that fight. I'm ashamed to say. But, I genuinely thought Angulo was like the Angulo that fought Lara. Do you remember the one who was like giving Lara all sorts of problems? I thought that guy might be able to break Canelo down, but he was an absolute shell, wasn't he, that night?
I heard Virgil Hunter say that they got the call very late for that one, and Angulo had to lose like 30 pounds or something like ridiculous.
Did somebody not fucking steal his wife?
Maybe.
He's never been the same since he had to go to that detention centre, has he?
Somebody kidnapped his wife or Wayne or something like
that. Mate, he got arrested by the border police. He didn't have a visa to be in the States. He was in jail for like a year.
Was that not fucking that paedophile guy?
No, that's Carlos Molina, isn't it?
Molina was he'd been arrested he was arrested in Chicago or something. No, Angulo was arrested.
Yeah, he was
and taken to a Mexican prison for like a year.
It was definitely Angulo that got taken away to prison for not having a visa to be in the United States. I remember that quite vividly.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Molina, though.
No, Molina was a non.
Molina had like sexual crimes against him or something. Yeah.
Molina didn't have a visa as well, though, and then that came out.
That's what will happen to Matt Bowes. If he ever gets in America, he'll get arrested and get deported. Oh no, he's going to get in.
Never get a visa, would he? They'd never let him in a million years. It's like Martin Murray.
All right, back to Leon. Leon was talking. Everyone shut up.
Yeah, Leon. Sorry, mate.
Bunch of fucking plastics, you lot, aren't you?
Yeah, we certainly are.
Well, it's not all of us.
No. What was I saying? I'm lost now in dildo.
Okay, do you want to go on to the undercard? Any fights you enjoyed on there?
I enjoyed the Herrera versus Gomez fight because I thought Gomez looked very, very good at last. A little fat, but skill-wise, I really enjoyed that fight. I mean, it's pretty easy. Herrera's washed up, but he still beat the shit out of him.
I think Herrera's done, isn't he?
Yeah,
he looked bad against Lundy as well, right?
I was saying to Brian, he's now the kind of boozy plumber he's always been. It's kind of finally caught up with him, right? Like he's just been, working in construction, drinking, and then he could only carry that on for so long. But on the other hand, I thought Gomez looked very, very good, and if he could get his shit together, he would be a serious player. I mean, because he's got every punch in the book.
I thought his left hook was very good. Actually, he was landing it from all sorts of crazy angles. Who would you match him with next, mate? If you're
Davis, Javonna Davis. That's my fucking wank fest fight. Get the two of them in together. Boom. There you go. TMT.
Who's Davis with? Is he Golden Boy?
TNT.
No, it's TMT. And they should be at 140. Well, Davis is, and Gomez is still a wee fat dick.
Gomez will be at 140. He's not going to stay at 147.
Yeah, he looked pretty fat at 147, to be honest. He was struggling to make that.
That'd be my 140 fight. Obviously, we've got Crawford now.
I think he's staying at 147 from what I've heard.
He's going to get beat.
Fucking hell.
Right, no, wait a sec, guys. Sorry. Leon, mate. So let's say he has one more at 147 to kind of stabilise at the weight or whatever. Who could you realistically see him fighting next? Because he'll probably be back on HBO, won't he? He looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you could make it, and I would like to make this just to fuck with Brooke after what he said on Sky Sports News today. Why can't he make that figure? The what's his name? The guy Vargas.
Yeah, right.
Get a title shot next.
Yeah, but it's a big jump up for him, but I don't think you're going to get, from all the stuff that I've heard and know of him, you're not going to get much out of him by fighting people that don't mean anything. He finds it difficult enough to stay off the burgers as it is.
Yeah, he needs to be motivated, doesn't he?
Meaningful fights. And he could beat Vargas, and then Brooke couldn't have a Vargas fight, which is now his big new fight, isn't it? But I'm sure we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
When you mentioned Brooke just now, first thing that came into my head was Chavez. Gomez against Diego Chavez.
Yeah, that would be good. But I mean, what's he been doing?
Crossroads. Yeah.
Apparently, though,
recently, he hasn't fought in ages, has he?
Apparently, on that, Chavez promoters currently in the later stage of taking Eddie into court. So.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
Who's Amir man with? Who's he promoted by?
Don King.
Don King. He's down one.
He won't fight again for about another year at least.
Could that not happen at welterweight if he does make the trip back down? If he can lay off the fucking burgers.
Chuck him in with Granados.
Yeah, Granados. I was just going to say that's a really good. That would be a proper action fight for Gomez. Yeah.
Or even someone like fucking Trianovsky or some fucking.
Because I think that that kid's on a bit of a rebuilding job, isn't he? The guy who's Don King. I'm sure.
Yeah, man.
They've got a lot of work to do there. A lot of work to do.
Well, he got beat off some Mexibum, didn't he?
Breaking news.
Go on.
Manny Pacquiao's lost the fucking elections. He's coming, so that'll be him coming back. Oh, I'm fucking Team Manny. Yeah. Fucking come on. We're going to get the fucking rematch. We're going to get it.
Right, shut up a minute. Is this like one of the rare occurrences when we all quite like Frankie Gomez and Ainsley's not going on his fucking shit?
I heard someone say he was shit about 5 minutes ago. I don't know who it was.
Show yourself.
Frankie Gomez, what are you saying?
Me?
Yeah.
He looked decent.
Fuck
Whoa!
We all agree.
Yeah, but I said this about Quigley. Do you want me to just drop the bomb on both of them, seeing as I'm only chatting everyone?
Let's work our way down.
All right.
So we're all impressed with Gomez, and we think Herrera's done. I'll tell you what. Brooke versus Herrera. How about that for the next fight?
Yeah.
Hearn will say, what will Hearn say? Hearn will say he's never been stopped. He beat Danny Garcia. All this nonsense.
But
there you go.
Can I just say my favourite thing out of the entire fight? I don't know if you did you watch the HBO feed, Shep, or did you watch?
No, I watched the Box Nation actually.
Oh, you missed a treat. You probably might have seen someone tweet it. So someone going on about, I think it was Roy Jones saying that, Herrera only gets beat by athletic guys. And then, I can't remember if it was Roy Jones or Jim Lampley basically said, Frankie Gomez is basically like, what's his name? Why have I just forgot his name now?
Paddy McCourt.
Paddy McCourt. Shit.
Describe him.
He's
oh my god, I want to...
Is it Salita?
What, Salita? Oh my god.
Paul Smith.
Kareem Mayfield. That's an irrelevant cunt. He basically said Frankie Gomez is Kareem Mayfield, but with actual some skill.
A bit harsh on Mayfield, I think. I don't think Mayfield's that bad.
I'm being a bit harsh now. In fact, he's shit. Anyway.
Yeah, he's shit.
Fights on short notice, Mayfield. I respect.
Gomez looked decent now.
He's the only guy that.
But he's not a welterweight, is he? He's definitely not. But then again, like Leon said, that's a good shout because I don't think Vargas is that big at that weight. So.
Vargas was a year ago.
Vargas is big. But see, honestly, man, see when I see him, Next days, I was surprised how he made 140. He is fucking big.
He doesn't look that big.
Aye, but he's big. You know how the Sergio Martinez didn't look big, and then you see him in person. They're thick as in out the way, shoulder wise, and that. He's big. He'll be. I'm not a fan of Vargas. I actually think he's a bum, but
he is.
I don't find the why are we on this? We're back to Brook. Get back off this. We end up slagging that poofy bastard.
I'm really not interested in talking about Kell Brook today. It's completely irrelevant to what
Kell Brook got stabbed for shagging a man.
Some dick gets stabbed.
Yeah, that could be the name of the 50th episode next week.
Let's continue on this
Yeah, mate. I had a question. I think just going back to Gomez for a second. Gomez at 140, he'd be very, very strong. I think a lot stronger than a number of the top guys down there. Like, imagine sort of I know it's a sort of hypothetical at the moment, but Gomez up against a guy like Matisse, he'd be much bigger than him, like physically.
He's not going to get down to that weight shit because he likes to eat too much and likes to party too much. So, I mean, I've read a couple of stories that he's been fucking having parties and that, and he's had upcoming fights and stuff, and he's apparently he's got all the talent in the world, but he's just not dedicated enough. But you never know; they can fucking one day they can fucking
turn it around. Yeah, he is.
He can turn it.
He's 24, isn't he?
He's still young, So
I think he'd smash Riley Lemon.
I think Leon's onto something where
pure trolling, Brian. Pure trolling.
If you give him important fights, that's the best way to make sure he stays on the weight and is motivated. If they give him a load of sort of knockover jobs on HBO undercards, he'll just end up blowing the weight again, and he'll be back at square one. Hopefully they'll move him quickly, to be honest, because he does look good.
They have to move him quickly because he'll be running after all the fucking delivery trucks all around fucking LA trying to eat all the fucking burritos and all that shit he can get his hands on. They should have him fight next week, really.
Remember like when Kirkland got out of prison and they had him fighting like once every 3 weeks because they were so worried he was going to get arrested again. They were just like constantly having him, and then he obviously got chinned. And
can we basically say then that Frankie Gomez is the American Frankie Gavin in more ways than sharing the first name?
He's not got Gavin's power.
Well,
obviously, no, he punches like a train, mate.
He's not got the weird looking Birmingham fans either, has he? Like press pass and that.
But do we think that Frankie Gomez fast food of choice is Domino's, or do you think he's more?
No, he likes tacos and burritos.
He's a Taco Bell man.
Pure street food. Food.
He'll be hanging out in a street corner earlier than now with a fucking taco in one hand and a burrito in the other.
It's better fucking hanging out with a taco than like Kell Brook hanging out with some guy's arse.
I thought you said he'll be hanging out in a street corner with a taco and a hard-on. I thought you maybe he will. I don't know.
Brooks just signed a sponsorship deal with Club Tropicana.
He's just signed a sponsorship with fucking Grindr, I heard.
What's that?
Tom, what is that, mate? Tom, what is that?
Chef, I thought that's that fucking gay dating site, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it. None of us have ever heard of it, mate.
Yeah, fuck it.
Don't know what you're on about, mate.
See when you tell a joke and then have to explain it, it's never funny.
No, it's not. You're right, Andy. They've ruined it for me.
Right, anyway.
Move on. Fuck Kell Brook, we've heard enough about that weirdo.
So, to any women listening, we've established that I don't know what Grindr is. Okay? Right.
But he is also married.
If there's any women listening.
Amy Smith will be listening.
There might be two, and both of them have openly said in the last week that they don't like me. So
remember that? Can you remember that bird that was always in the chat for the asylum when they were on like Mixler or whatever it was, and like I pestered her for weeks and she just didn't come back because I kept asking her for her number.
Emily.
Oh, she was tidy, and basically it was like, oh, this is my boyfriend's account. No, this is like my girlfriend's account. I'm a guy. I'm just using her. Shut up, dick. Just fucking give me the number I paid, and he fucked off.
Seniors.
I fucking miss you, Emily. Proper have you.
Emily, if you're out there, come back.
Ryan, did she hurt you like Jess hurt you?
Oh, I'll never be hurt as much as that fucking bitch hurt me.
Right,
Lemieux.
Lemieux against Tapia. Who wants to jump in on that?
I had a tenner on Tapia. KO.
I wanted to go to Carpy hasn't spoken in a while. Carpy, what did you think of
Rocco thought he just spoke once.
But Tapia's done, isn't he?
Tapia, look, honestly, I thought that's one of the worst performances I've ever seen.
He was shit, wasn't he? Like really bad.
So bad.
I think you get feedback.
I can hear you, mate. Keep going.
No, I'm still can hear myself.
Oh, really? We're not getting an echo.
I can hear.
Aye, everybody mute themselves.
My voice is repulsive. Yeah, so but basically we all kind of knew that Tapia was going to get starched. You just didn't really. You couldn't go into that thinking Tapia was going to win. I mean, he had a puncher's chance, but
no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He's moving up to 160. He couldn't even punch that hard at 154. Honestly, like suicidal.
Lemieux's not iron chin, does he?
So that was my thinking. That was my thinking. And
Lemieux's not iron chin. Like he's been down a few times.
Lemieux's chin stood up pretty well against Golovkin. I thought he went down off a body shot. He never got chinned or anything. And the time he got knocked out, it was because he was absolutely exhausted. I think he's got pretty good.
I thought to myself anyway that Tapia would have a puncher's chance at least. Not saying he's a massive puncher. I'm just saying that Lemieux's chin isn't all that, and I thought he can get hurt. He's been hurt before.
But not by him.
That was the only way he was going to win. Other than that, Lemieux was just going to knock him out.
It was honestly, first round Tapia just covered up. He barely threw. He threw like 3 jabs. Second round he got rocked, and from then on he was just you could see that he was dizzy and dazed. Leon, mate? What did you think of the stoppage?
Well, what else was he going to do? He was going to get seriously hurt, wasn't he? And we've seen what's happened before in his previous fights. He had someone must hate him to send him up there like that. It's fucking horrible, man. He's no business being up there at that level. He's never proven himself to be anywhere near Lemieux's level, and Lemieux's not that good, but he's an American domestic fighter, isn't he? He should be on an shitty Eddie Hearn card.
Yeah, but if he was on an Eddie Hearn card, he'd be fighting like some of them cab drivers who were on Saturday, and he'd end up fighting fucking every world champion 16 times.
But he could be Brooks next
bring it over for Callum Smith, and it will be a pay-per-view headliner. That's what will happen in about a year's time. Tapia, it'll be like Casillas. Tapia will show up like dribbling at the airport. He'll fight at 175 or something against Callum Smith, and they'll say like, "Oh, he's only been knocked out once."
But you'd rather have him than the fucking filth that Frank Warren's just about to serve up for Liam Smith, wouldn't you?
Right, we'll get on. I think we'll just should we just keep the whole Smith family later, because I think we've all done stuff recently. Yeah. We'll get on all of them, but Andy, mate, any thoughts on Lemieux? Were you impressed by him at all? I thought he was very aggressive as usual. I thought he looked quite good, looked faster than against Golovkin. I thought
it was kind of. It was just like I thought it was just a match, a fight for him to look good. Because obviously you're bringing what you call him again? What's you call him, man? Aye, Tapia. Sorry, Tapia up. He's coming up for 154, and he just looked shite and didn't look. I don't know. He just didn't look right for this kind of a start. I had a bet on Lemieux to win by KO. And I just thought it was a matter of time after the first round. It just didn't look as if he was interested, or didn't look if he wanted to be there, sort of thing.
Didn't look like he was trying to win, did it?
It was very strange. I watched. I can't remember if it was his last fight or the fight at 4. I watched it on a stream. He was fighting in China, and he didn't look fucking that good as well. That was a while back.
He fought an Aussie who ended up nearly beating
Daniel Dawson.
That's right.
That.
That's right,
Yeah.
And I thought then as well, I wasn't overly impressed with him then, so I thought it was just, when I seen that match get made, it was just a match for, obviously, Lemieux coming back after the Golovkin defeat to fucking get a win and get possibly a knockout and try to look good again, so... I
thought it was quite interesting. Tapia, after he got knocked out against Sorrow, he said he struggled to make 154. And to be fair, he's a big guy. I'm amazed he could make 154. Like, he's much bigger than Canelo, and he was, making the weight. Much bigger than Lemieux as well. But he said, I struggled to make light middle. I felt really slow because I drained myself. I was slow and my rhythm was off. I'm going up to middle. And then last Saturday, gets knocked out against Lemieux and says, I couldn't find my rhythm and I felt slow. And it's like, yeah, mate, I think you might just be sort of done. Do you know what I mean? As a fighter, like, if you can't, when you're struggling to make weight, you've got no rhythm and you're slow. And when you're comfortable making weight, you've got no rhythm and you're slow. And he doesn't sound good either. He's starting to sound like
He's
real.
only 26 as well, man. And he's not
The
old.
Kirkland fight was dangerous, though, wasn't it? It was horrible. Like, one of the worst beatdowns I've ever seen. And I think that's fucking pickled his head.
But
did you notice the guy who stopped it, the guy who got on the ring apron? It wasn't Roach. It was his old trainer who'd let the Kirkland fight go on and was still saying, like, Glenn, you gotta fucking knock him out, even when he was like completely out on his feet.
It was so brutal. It was one of those fights where I felt sick watching it because it was just so bad. I've never seen a beatdown like it in a long time. It was like bordering on levels of Shannon Briggs versus Vitaly Klitschko. It was disgusting, and I can't believe.
I love that fight.
It was a good fight. I remember watching it and enjoying it, but I think it's quite rare that you've got all the HBO guys literally shouting, "Stop the fight!" Like shouting at the referee to stop it. And do you remember in the last round, Kellerman and Lampley are just shouting, "That's enough! That's enough! Stop it!" And then obviously Smoger lets him take that final combination, and he's just like falling, sort of slumped on his shoulder, like.
Well, Smoger actually wants to see a death, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like bloodthirsty.
I tell you what, man,
like
you could do worse than getting Smoger for a Paul Smith fight then, couldn't you?
Imagine.
Oh, I'd fucking love Smoger. Oh, God. Right, we'll go on to that later.
Smith versus Kovalev, 15 rounds, Smoger referee, and drug testing is in Russia, right?
Tesco's got Previs for throwing in a towel, so...
Oh, yeah, no, but we take his towel before the first
Yeah,
fight.
no towel fight. No towel fight.
Dear Tom Pone, fuck the fucking towel back at the ring. Just keep
Now, what we all do is, we all get a seat ringside. We all get a seat ringside, yeah, and we all get up to the side of the ring when the fight starts, and we just fucking monitor it. As soon as we see a fucking towel going, one of us grabs it, sorted.
Do you remember that? Do you remember the Earl Katsidis fight when the corner threw the towel in and the referee threw it back out and said like, "No"? Have you seen that?
Yeah,
the referee.
That was Mickey Van.
Carrying on.
Mickey Van, Graham Earl, Michael Katsidis. Mickey Van it was, and he flicked it out with his foot.
The referee, yeah. There we go.
But what about the Burns fight? When it was when it was landed on the guy's glove.
Yeah, that was Prince and Fortune on the Tommy Coyle and Luke Campbell undercard. Go on, Sir Ricky.
Well, we'll mention that again in a bit, Andy, because I've got a question about that undercard and where it stacks up. Should we move over to Manchester and
just on Tapia quickly, Shep?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm not finished yet.
But there's
go on. Yeah.
There was all this shit in the build-up from Roach that he can't go and do what he normally does in terms of Tapia. Just go and stand there and get fucking hit like a spud. And they were fucking telling him keep moving, blah blah blah. Do you not think that maybe him fucking try to box, which obviously he can't fucking do, blew that fucking small chance he did have of doing it? Because his only chance of fucking beating him was just going to war with him and fucking chinning him somehow.
I think the game plan was a bit of a Tesco Joe special. I think he was hoping Lemieux would gas himself out, just throwing bombs.
I don't think the stoppage was. I was a bit pissed off with it, to be honest.
I like brutality, but it was going one way, and I think Roach has got to the point now that he doesn't want to see that. I can't remember the fighter that he had before. If he turned, he said, what was the fight? His fighter, he turned around.
Pascal against Kovalev.
Aye, that was exactly it. If I don't see you doing what I'm telling you to do, I'm stopping the fight. And
he said, Brian, at the end of the third round, Roach said to Tapia, Glenn, if you don't stop throwing this lazy jab, then there's going to be trouble or something. And then immediately gets dropped in the next round. And Roach obviously thought, well, he's not listening to me.
I think Tapia can be competitive at a certain level. I don't think he's the worst. He's just not. He just can't go in with punchers, and people can turn around and say Lemieux's never been in with. Lemieux's never beat a fucking right solid puncher. But at the same time, we all know he can fucking punch. He just didn't get to. He didn't connect much on Golovkin, right? But he can punch. You don't fucking you don't knock out as many people as he has if you're not carrying a bit of power. And he's relentless. He used to gas when he was younger, not, but he's fixed that. Honestly, I think Lemieux's.
I thought he was improved. I thought he got better since Golovkin. I think he's learned some stuff from that fight.
I think he's a problem for MD other than Golovkin. I just think Golovkin's special. I think with 145 to 168, Golovkin gets through MD. I am as high as possible with Golovkin. I just think he's that fucking good. And apart from the fact that you've got all the certain types that I'd want to make him up to 175, that's just fucking ridiculous. Like, it's just if anybody, this isn't about Golovkin, right? But Lemieux done well. But I just want to jump onto like the Curtis Stevens like Teixeira fight, right? Obviously, nobody's seen this Teixeira fight, so I was only going off of what other people were saying, and a lot of people were high on him, saying that he's going to maybe like box Curtis Stevens for the 12 rounds, maybe look good. He carries a bit of power and all that.
Name them people, because they're mongs.
Who's that fat bastard that does the scores for HBO? Lederman.
Dan Raphael.
Yeah.
Lederman.
Oh, Harold.
I think like maybe they mentioned it on Steve Kim's show, but fuck me, that fucking punch was a beast. That was a fucking beastie of stoppage for Curtis Stevens. And that's a guy, that's how you know fucking like Golovkin has a serious chin and all. He took fucking Stevens' best, man, and did not even budge. But Curtis Stevens is a decent wee fighter, by the way. He's competitive against a lot of people. He's got a couple of shitty losses and that, but Curtis Stevens against Lemieux, give me that. I'm fucking down with that shit.
I could see Warren trying to get Stevens over for Saunders because I think
No
Saunders.
chance.
No,
he's tailor-made. Saunders would win almost every round.
See, I'm a Saunders fan. I don't ever argue with like people that kind of talk up Saunders. I don't like the fact that he's ducking Golovkin, but I like Stevens. I like my boxers, as we know, but I like Stevens.
Right, Ndam dominated Stevens. He won that fight easily. You know what I mean? And that was seen as a 50-50. Ndam really, I think if you can't get to Ndam,
was it not Terry Arnold Johnson that beat Stevens?
Yeah, but that was a terrible stoppage. Do you remember that was the one where Johnson had won basically every round, and he got slightly wobbled in the final round, and the referee.
Was it Stevens' first fight with Kovalev's trainer?
Yeah, David Jackson.
I noticed that, but I forgot.
Yeah, I like that. I like him and them together. I like.
The divine ponytail.
He's a future trainer of the year, I think.
It's not often you see black people with ponytails, is it? It's quite rare.
That's so racist.
Yeah.
No, that's not. It's just an observation, isn't it?
That's very racist. Move along, Shep, please.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Leon, I thought you was black, mate.
I know. I shocked you there, didn't I?
You did, mate.
With my white ass.
We thought you were black, Carpy, because of your voice.
Yeah.
All right, Carpy.
I'm the field hand, mate.
I thought you were tricky.
You know who Cap sounds like? That daft scutter that was in Big Brother that won Big Bra. That stupid fucking bimbo thing.
Nicky, the blonde one.
What, you mean Josie Gibson?
Josie! Aye.
See, Nicky was Scottish, weren't he? The blind guy.
A story about that. When I told my ACO,
Tom wrong again.
Right.
Nicky Graham, she's called the blonde one.
Right,
Carpy, go on.
When I tore my ACL and I jumped a swimming pool pissed up and I was in A&E, I fucking turned around, Josie Gibson's there because her brother's been running over. I was like, all right, I know you, you're off the TV, love. She's like, all right, how's it going? Just proper little Bristolian chat.
Did you shag her?
No, I didn't know. We shared pizza together.
Oh, what a shock.
Oh, dirty.
Where's the pizza too, Carpy?
Was it a real hospital or was it just a vet's?
Oh, fuck off, Liam, mate. You come in here 1 minute, you're fucking slagging off me, mate.
Wind your neck in, son.
I'm a veteran podcast, mate.
I've got a good segue because we're talking about Bristol. The best takeaway in Bristol is called Quigley's. Jason Quigley, fought on the undercard, won every round against De La Rosa. Did anyone see that? It was in the.
I missed it.
I missed it as well. So, could someone tell me in the listeners how he looked?
I thought he looked very impressive, to be honest, and that's me saying it.
De La Rosa was meant to fight. Remember, De La Rosa was meant to fight Lemieux in April.
Yeah.
So
yeah, then
that's
Lemieux couldn't be fucked to make the weight, could he?
No, he blew it off. De La Rosa's fought on HBO. Like, he's not a bad fighter at all.
I think the key with Quigley, don't rush him, just keep bringing him along as they are, and then chuck him in a decent fight as long as they get him in. He doesn't need to, because he's only like 24, 25, I think. So he doesn't need to be fighting fucking people at that level, I suppose, every fight at the minute. They can still get in some other building fights, but
he's only had 11 fights.
Yeah, I think that's the first time or the second time he's went points, but he looked good. He did it. There weren't really any point where he thought De La Rosa was like winning around or. I would suspect.
You might see him in with Tapia. Honestly, I could see.
Yeah,
that fight.
that's the two things I suspect. That might happen, but I don't know because Tapia might get Billy Joe Saunders at some point. I suspect if Saunders doesn't fight Golovkin, which he obviously never is, but I suspect they may make a move down that route and make that late next year or early the year after if Billy Joe's managed to get through enough cab drivers.
What, Quigley against Saunders?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It depends. It does depend how it comes along, but I would think that might be the way they go, depending on what happens with Golovkin, obviously, if he moves up. But there's a lot. If they bring him along properly, I think he'll do well.
The division is ripe. I think middleweight is ripe for young guys coming through because a lot of the top guys are quite old, and they will all, like if you look at like the Martin Murrays, the Macklins, the Brian Roses. I know they're not the top guys, but like domestically, a lot of the guys are quite old, and a guy like Quigley could end up getting quite a few impressive wins by fighting, due to a way.
Why don't they have an all-Irish battle with Macklin and just put him out of pasture?
Well, they could do that, but I'd chuck him in with Ryder.
Yeah, right. That's a good fight.
He'd beat Ryder. I like Ryder as well, but it's like. So I think what they should be possibly do is then build it up and try and get someone like Willie Nelson maybe next year.
Well, Nelson's about to get his arse handed to him by Demetrius, the pound-for-pound god.
Oh, he's fighting Andrade?
He's fighting Andrade in a month. Just a quick shout-out for this card, because it's going under the radar. It's a great card. It's Zlatikanin against that Marsili for the WBC lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great fight, but it needs to happen. Zlatikanin's been waiting for like a year. That's the first one, and then it's what's his face, who we were just talking about. It's Provodnikov Molina in the main event, and then it's Willie Nelson against Andrade in the co. That's a really good little card, and I think that's going to be on free TV.
But yeah, I think there's I think for Quigley, he can just take Monroe if he gets beat. Go from Willie Monroe maybe, and then go for Nelson maybe.
Stick him in with some movers who can't really punch and see how he does. Yeah.
But what about Centeno Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with him because Centeno. I like the look of him, but he's turned down a lot of fights.
Yeah.
Remember, he fought Julian Williams about 3 years ago.
They drew, did they not? Or was it no contest?
They drew because Williams Centeno got a cut from a headbutt, but Williams had won every round up until that point, and then he got cut, and Centeno just refused the rematch, completely refused it outright. And I don't know about him. I'm not sure if he's sort of happy, beating up second-rate opponents, or if he actually wants to sort of prove.
He's with Golden Boy though, is he not?
He is. He's been matched very soft.
Yeah, but then they can start forth a little bit.
Did any of you see Diego De La Hoya's fight?
I
didn't see that.
I saw the last bit. I didn't see the knockout. I saw him get a point took off.
No, I didn't see any.
And then
it was on the Facebook, wasn't it? On the little prelim thing they did.
Yeah, because that's what it was on YouTube. But I remember watching Quigley and there's like 6 people in their fucking arena. Colm was probably one of them.
It's quite depressing when you think that the pay-per-view preliminary fights that go out for free online from Golden Boy are better than most of the co-main pay-per-views co-mains on Matchroom pay-per-views, aren't they? Like
the Quigley fight was
Quigley versus quality better than the average pay-per-view fight on a Matchroom.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to think now. But
right, fuck this, man.
And I'll move on.
We've got on to hating the fucking Matchroom shortly. Let's go on to fucking crawler.
We're moving over to Manchester. Actually, I'll tell you what, very quickly, Brian, let's do Pulev Chisora. I haven't seen it yet. Has anyone seen it? What do they think?
Yeah.
I watched it.
It was awful.
You've not really spoke.
How did you score it, Tom?
It was fucking boring. Pulev won by fucking. It was just dreadful. Holding. It was just the worst fight I've ever seen. I thought Pulev was going to knock him out, right? And I was just so disappointed. Neither guy seemed to want to be there. Like, both guys just seemed to want to fucking cuddle. They could have fucking saved it for the hotel room, at least. It was fucking disgusting. I can't say enough terrible things about that fight.
How did you score it?
I think I had Pulev 9-3 up or something like that.
I had Chisora losing about 10-11 in 8 rounds, and what I found was I found that Pulev fought like Vlad does. Like basically, he'll throw like one punch or maybe two punches, and go out his way to lunge and hold on.
Jab right hand, hug.
Aye.
Jab right hand, hug.
The referee, all he done was kept breaking them up. Not once did he warn Pulev. It was a fucking shocker. He didn't even warn. I'm pretty sure I've seen like a couple of fucking punches after the bell, or like when they're breaking and stuff like that. And the referee just let them go and they would do whatever they want. But man, I know people are saying that Pulev is like a good fight for Joshua, but in the grand scheme of things, Pulev's probably his best opponent. But see, at the same time, see what I seen at the weekend. Joshua fucking punches his cunt in, and I don't want to see that. I don't care if the name is good. I want to see a competitive fight, and I don't think Pulev does that. Like he was jabbing Chisora all night, right? Fair enough, the jab was alright, but sometimes he was pawing at it. And the thing with Joshua is he just punches right through his opponents. He's just constantly straight punches, and Pulev was looting everything. And I mean, I was surprised how well kind of Moulin Rouge was kind of skipping around the ring. He kind of moved all right, and he's not like one of these fat boxers that Femi's going to end up having to fight all the time. But it was a fucking shit fight. It was a shit fight, and I think Herm was banking on Chisora winning that because that was his next pay-per-view. Derek Chisora, there's a rivalry for their gyms. Like Derek used to bully Joshua early on and take his drugs off him and all that. It's a shocker, revenge, and that was the way it was going to get built up. But it's not going to happen now.
Chisora used to steal his rides.
Aye, to Joshua. But see if Femi fucking fought like Pulev, say September or something like that, I wouldn't really shit on it because, to be perfectly honest, it'd be better than MD else's fought. Pulev would beat MD. Well, saying that, I don't even know how good White is. I would maybe say like White would be competitive with Pulev because for what he done with Joshua, we can only go on that right enough. But Pulev,
well, no, fuck that. What did White do against Joshua? He had a good second round and got his cunt kicked in for the rest of it.
No,
he just hung around because it was a grudge match. He didn't hang around because he was skilled. He didn't make Joshua think about anything by that second round. After that, he got his shit pushed in.
He was throwing very wild punches, wasn't he?
Exactly. And he was
from the start though. He was from the very start throwing wide, horrible punches.
Shit.
He's third.
No, you need to remember though. See if you watch the Froch Grove first fight. See, Froch was hurt for that fucking foul fight, and a lot of his punches were absolutely fucking shocking because of it, right? And this was White was hurt for the very beginning, and the fact that he was able to connect with Joshua and hurt him as bad as he did, while being totally hurt, I think it speaks fucking volumes for him. I think the guy's got a bit of chin about him. He definitely carries a bit of power, and he's better than most of the heavyweights that we're seeing. But
then shoulder injury as well. He surgery on his shoulder like the week later.
So did Manny.
Yeah. White looked fucking shit against that Brian Minto, for fuck's sake.
He did.
The hatred's back. He was going so well.
If it's right though, fuck me, man. It's like
fuck.
Dillian White.
Right, one at a time.
Let's not just go mental about this. Dillian White is a solid British level, maybe low European level. Chisora was a good European level fighter in his prime, and now he's shot. I think a fight between the two of them would probably be a laugh at the least. Like the build-up would be funny, you know. I'd rather have that than some knockover 2-round shitfest from Joshua, you know, where the most exciting part is his dad doing an interview after the final bell. Like, I'm not interested in it. I'd rather see Chisora get smacked by a bottle at a press conference. You know, at least that's funny. Like that'll entertain me for a couple of minutes. You know, the Joshua fight doesn't interest me at all. Like, I'm not interested in Brazil. I won't watch it. I probably won't even watch the highlights. Like, it doesn't interest me at all. But anyway, so we had Pulev possibly an opponent for Joshua in the future. I agree with Brian. I think he gets knocked out because his defense just isn't that good. His hands are too far apart when he stands. It's sort of he's like a video game character. Do you know what I mean? He's in like this weird pose with one hand out. Looks like something off Street Fighter or something, rather than a boxer with his guard up. But anyway, over to Manchester, and you'll be pleased to know again, I actually didn't see any of this. I still haven't seen Crawler or Barroso. So whoever wants to Leon, mate, what did you think of Crawler's performance? Was he that impressive?
He was impressive to the level that how good was Barroso? That's what we've really got to question, because he beat the shit out of my boy, but I'd pick a couple of you to beat my boy.
Well, Mitchell, I think Mitchell actually. Mitchell actually quit.
Oh, he fully quit. He fully quit. I'm not here to protect him. He was shot to shit. And so that's what I'm saying. Is that a world level win or is it just a European level
But
win?
I think that what happened when Mitchell fought Barroso is the ref thought Mitchell said he didn't want to carry on when he actually said to him, "I want to feed you my cock."
Leon, I agree with what you're saying, mate. We done like a kind of impromptu live show on Saturday night after that card, and that's pretty much what I said as well. I see Hearn and a lot of people on Twitter were going into fucking hyperbole about how good a win this is, and he's like number one in the world and all that stuff. But in my opinion,
piped up, man, wasn't he, for that?
in my opinion, I like Crolla, and he's fucking an absolute cracking guy. But I never kind of overhype anybody, and I'm looking at it from a realist point of view. How good is Barroso? I mean, his best win, see if you actually look at his record, his best win is a shot Kevin Mitchell. You know what I mean?
He's a tailor-made for Tesco Joe fighter, isn't he? He's tailor-made for him. The gas in 4 rounds. They can just stand there. Although I think Crolla did a bit more than that in the early rounds, and he was engaging with him. But it's tailor-made for Joe's fighters.
That's it. You can see
wait for him to gas and then knock him out.
Exactly. The end of the fifth, end of the fourth or fifth. In fact, it was end of the fourth. I noticed that. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's looking tired here. And then the next round, he went and sat in his corner, spat his gum shield out, slumped down on. And you could see the camera was right in his face, and you could see he was gasping for air. And I'm like, he's going to go here. And then sure as fuck, the next round, Crolla's come out, buff.
You've got to give Crolla his credit, haven't you? He turned his career around.
Exactly.
He could have been a journeyman. He could have faded really quickly.
Who'd have thought that getting a concrete slab on the head would have made you a better fighter?
2 years ago, the guy was fighting in a town hall for an English title, and I'll give him his credit. The turnaround in his career, he's probably one of the most improved fighters in Britain, if not the world. I've been really impressed with him the last probably 3 or 4 fights.
But for Eddie Hearn, who'd clearly been smashing lines backstage, running around screaming in that guy's face, "Oh, he's number one in the world. Did you hear me?" and all that bullshit. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He's a fucking limelight stealer.
Can I say something on that?
Fucking limelight.
I said this on Twitter, and I'll say it now. Like, it's debatable whether he's the fucking best in his city, let alone the world, man. So
look, he's in the top 3 or 4 in the world. Is that not good enough for Eddie?
Yeah, but I think that the Magdaleno win for Flanagan could probably be ranked higher than Barroso.
Somebody said that. I mean, Twitter, they fought Crolla's 2 wins against Perez and Barroso were better, and I disagreed. I thought the Magdaleno one, and Zepeda obviously was an injury, but I ranked A2 higher. And see, as soon as Hearn says that, right, now he's come out and he's saying they want to go for Linares. Now, Linares is injured. Dejan Zlatkan's fighting Emiliano Marsali for his fucking vacant title. See, in my opinion, the best is probably Rances Barthélemy. He's probably the top one, but you don't hear Hearn mentioning him. They never mention the guys that are the actual top guys in the division. They never mention them. They'll mention the guy that's number 2 or 3 and claim him as the best in the world and try to get that unification or something. It's the same stuff all the time. It's a recycled. Whatever fight he's going to recycle the fucking analogy. We're fighting the best. We're fighting this. No, you're not. Anybody that fucking follows knows what the best is.
But this is how Hearn manages to fucking push his bullshit that he's got, quote, one of the best stables in world boxing, because every time one of his fucking fighters fight, he's saying that they're the best in the world at that weight. He's a fucking moron.
But it's
Sorry,
it's how he said it. He was so full of it, wasn't it? It was just disgusting to watch.
It's his attitude, isn't it? He's a horrible, slimy, fucking arrogant bastard. That's his character.
I think my issue with it is that someone like Bob Arum will say Terence Crawford is a sensational fighter and that was a great win. Hearn will say so and so is a sensational fighter and that was a great win, and so's ducking him and he's the best in the world, and we're going to fight everyone. And he's like you said, he's never happy with just a good win. It always has to be tacked on to like some exaggerated nonsense about how the division's on notice, or like, and it's purely for the idiots in the crowd who have never heard of any of the other lightweights, who probably never even seen Flanagan. But Andy, I've got a good stat for you. You said a few years ago Crolla was fighting on small hall shows. you remember 5 years ago when he was going over to Vegas and he was scheduled to fight
Morales, wasn't it?
Morales, wasn't it? And then Morales ended up getting the shot against
Maidana.
Yeah, Maidana. Or, no, was it Garcia after that, maybe?
I think it was Maidana at that time.
Crawler fought a guy called Juan Montiel instead over an 8-rounder. Got a split decision win in a fight that he could easily have lost. Montiel is 6-7-3, right? And if you look at where Crawler is now, 4 years later, like, I mean, you've got, for once, I think we do have to give Tesco Joe a little bit of credit.
Shep, are you not just implying that Crawler's on steroids there?
He lost to Yusuf Alamidi after when he had like 6 fights. It was like lost fucking God knows he's like 10-100 or something.
To be fair, I thought Gavin Reese beat him as well. Just
Do we really have to give him credit though? It's like giving someone credit for not shooting himself in a game of Russian roulette. It's the same fucking thing over and over again that Tesco Joe does. It's the same game plan, and it sometimes works against lower level guys. But when he comes up against a top fighter, they lose. It's the truth.
I think Crawler's had 3 fights now against guys who are in the top 15, right? And I know the division's a bit weak, but he's beaten them all quite.
Yeah.
And I think that's, he's definitely a top world level lightweight. It's just.
I just want to give the credit to Crawler, not to Joe.
He's not the best in the division. There's no way Hearn can claim that without, being ready to fight all the others. And if Hearn is refusing to fight certain guys, then you forfeit your right to say you're the best, basically. That's how it works. But Hearn will obviously want to have his cake and eat it and say, Crawler's the best, we don't need to fight Barthélemy. And it's like, well, sorry, mate, that's not how it works. You have to fight everyone. You have to beat them all. Yeah.
I'm going to do both. I'm going to give credit and I'm going to shit on them, right? Personally, I changed my pick about 100 times and eventually went with for like Barroso knockout, so I take the abuse as I get it. But Barroso was fighting well, right? And I'm not here to give Joe Gallagher any sort of credit because I hate him, man, and I wouldn't mind if he just passed away gently at night. But the thing that Craw is that I noticed, like he does. I know he was getting tagged on the forehead, but he does tuck up well. He's always got his elbows tucked in, so there's no really anything coming round like the sides. He's not really getting caught with any body shots really, and he's got quite a good guard. And he was letting him fucking tee off on him, and like. As much as that guy Barroso wasn't accurate, right? He was obviously hitting his forehead, but nothing else much was getting through us. Like, I know he cut him, but it's not as if like, he was hitting him with fucking arse binders to the side of the head or nothing like that. So whether it's Joe Gallagher's like normal game plan where we only fight for 6 rounds, either it's the first 6 or the last 6, I'm going to give him some sort of credit here because the difference with Crawler is we all know Crawler's a 12-round fighter. Most of the time he goes 12 rounds because he's not that big a puncher, right? Or granted, the last 2 rounds has went to the body. So we know if that game plan is going to work with MD, it's going to work with a guy like him because he can come on strong at the end because he's got the energy for it because we've seen it. So like he's basically let that guy punch out because if you look at Barroso's record, he's no fucking done rounds. He's just knocking people out early on. I'm pretty sure the majority of his fights are finished in the first 3 rounds. So they've maybe banked on it. Just take him into fucking the 4th, 5th round. Just let him punch out. Crawler can take a punch now. I'm accusing him. I'm fucking not allegedly or whatever. I'm accusing him being fucking on steroids of some sort because there's no way you come back for getting fucking tanked with a slab. Right, and then coming fucking twice the size, and you've got this physique that you've never ever had. There's absolutely not a fucking chance that you somehow get an epiphany, sitting in intensive care, getting a fucking gobble off the nurse, and then you're like, you know what, I'm just going to get banged right into the training, and all of a sudden you're fucking huge. No way. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he can take a bite of punch, right, and he can go 12 rounds. So the point was, get the guy that's never went the rounds, gas him out after about 4. What does he do? He starts going to the body, slows him down even more. And I had to watch back this fight because I thought it was like just the typical Tesco Joe left body punch. It fucking wasn't. He hit him right in the solar plexus, the front of the fucking chest, and he went down. That was unfucking believable. How it was a belly of a punch, and it's not one of the punches that you normally see a guy hit another person when they go to get down, but
it's a Golovkin punch.
It's as if it skipped him. It's not as if it looked full force. It's as if it just hit him perfectly in the right spot.
You're right, Brian. normally when somebody gets hit with a body shot, it's at the back of the body, like right bang in the kidneys. And there's a delayed reaction. It was like it almost skiffed him, didn't it? And you seen it, and it didn't look like it was a very, very.
It was delayed. He went down late.
Yeah, it was on a like live zombie, wasn't it? He was dead by that point.
I'm not giving a fuck about this. He looked dead on the scales, and he looked dead before.
No, I'm not saying dead on the scales. I mean, he was blowing at his ass, like he was ready to.
I know people have said that. Like, he looked dead. Well, that's his own fucking fault for either like not doing the weight right or not be able to make the weight. I go up. Canelo gets shit for fucking trying to kill himself, so he doesn't need to fight certain people. That's Barroso's fault. I hate Joe Gallagher. I fucking hate him with a passion, right? And I kind of was a wee bit bitchy the weekend, but I'm only ever bitchy because I know the interviews that are coming right after it. The thing with Matchroom is they can't let fans enjoy something. They always have to go from one extreme to another and fucking ruin it. Right, so I was a bit bitchy after the fight, maybe a bit salty, as like fucking Leon would know, right? And I did come across as a Matchroom hater. I like Crawler. I did say that if Crawler wins, I'll be happy for him, but if Crawler loses, I'll be fucking ecstatic because of Joe Gallagher. It was a win-win for me, right? But I'm no going to take a credit away for Crawler just because of Joe Gallagher. It was a fucking fantastic win. A lot of us thought he was going to get knocked out, and what I did say yesterday in the WhatsApp chat, I think it was, I was like, somebody I was talking to, I was like, they're going to go for Linares because he's the fucking weakest guy in the top 5 or 6, right? We all know he's got a suspect chin, and we seen him go to war with Mitchell, and maybe that was Mitchell's last hurrah, right? But at the same time, Mitchell was still fucking shot. I was like, if you're fucking serious about like, being the number 1 in the division, you take on the guy that absolutely fucking ruined Ricky, right? And let's not get this wrong here. I know Zlatan Cannon's got a fight shortly, but they're not talking about Crawler fighting until like, the fall or something like that. Zlatan Cannon is the fucking daddy in that division because of his work rate and the power that he's got. We've seen, I can't remember the guy he fought like, last time out, but he fucking killed him. Absolutely killed him.
It was Ivan Redkach. He was a massive underdog in that fight. He was like a 2-1 underdog in that fight, and he absolutely pumped the fuck out of him. I fucking love Dejan, right? After what he did to Ricky, I love Ricky, but I have to love the man that beat the man that I love. And he fucking battered Redkach, and I think he'd absolutely pump the fuck out of everyone in that division. They're going to go for Linares after the Marsili fight. He's going to smash Linares, and then it's going to be a unification with Crawler.
But Marsili's fighting's like Cannon.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Tom, you know you love the man who pumped the man you love.
Yeah.
Does that mean...
I'm on Grindr every night, mate.
Wait, you ruined it. I was going to say, is that why it was going to be a joke about your dad beating up your stepdad?
See, just to
I didn't
finish.
have the punchline figured out, all right?
See, just to finish, I tweeted yesterday. I was like, you can always tell who the fucking man in the division is when they never ever get their name mentioned. I was like, Rigondeaux was that man, Golovkin is that man, and Barthélemy is now that fighter. You never hear these fuckers mention Barthélemy's name, and it's obviously why. This guy's a big lightweight. He's fucking huge for that weight, right? He's a boxer that nobody wants to go near. But see, the same way like Cal Frampton and like Rigondeaux, I don't care whether like, Leo Santa Cruz is a big fighter or not. Like, I want to see the best fight the best, regardless, right? And this is the exact same. If Crawler's the best, fight fucking Zlatan Cannon, Flanagan, or Barthélemy, right? Linares isn't the top fear or that. He's a fancy name. He's a good boxer and all that, but I think he's on the way out. Like you're just what you're going to do is you're going to do the typical matchroom fight. You're going to pair fighter for fighter. Oh, he done well against that guy. Let's see how my man does it. No, that's not the way it is. Just fight the fucking best. You deliberately fucking overpaid Crawler for this fight, knowing the Flanagan fight was here. You fucking deliberately done it. And you're always saying that you're for the fans, this, fans, that. And you fuck. If you were for the fans, you would not have paid Crawler that amount of money to make sure that we do not get a unification fight over here. You are a fucking horrible... I can't even say Cockney because Leon keeps pulling me up and saying his hair's not Cockney. You're just a horrible Essex fucking scumbag. You wear white high heels in the house, you big fucking lanky bastard. I fucking hate Eddie Hearn. He fucks up everything for us. That card was a fucking disgrace even though I didn't even watch one fucking fight other than the Crawler fight. You're a fucking cunt. You're an absolute fucking cunt, Eddie here. Right, you're that fucked off with boxing, and see once fucking Fenny gets his cunt kicked in, you'll fuck off and all back to golf, you big prick.
Hearn still sells programs at the darts, Brian. That's all he's good for, mate. He doesn't actually do the golf.
I'm going to do a piss show. I'll be back now.
Brian, you look like Gary Anderson without your beard, mate. I've just clocked it then.
Gary Anderson. That doesn't work, right?
It's Gary Anderson.
Really orange.
I think you've shot your bolt a bit early because we were just about to go on to the undercard for Crawler.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
But you've just done your Hearn hate, so someone else is going to fill in.
Shall I?
No, Andy, you can follow up in a sec because you've done a lot of Hearn hating, and I feel like we need to spread the hate around, and I want either Carpy or Pops to.
Can I take it up? I'll take it up. I'm ready.
What did you think of the undercard, mate? Go for it. Yeah, nice one. This is why we never throw to you.
Hear him here. It was utterly disgusting that he expected fucking people to pay for that shite. It's utterly disgusting. Adam Smith lets him away with this. We pay fucking Sky subscriptions. Sky subscriptions are an absolute joke. They put they lost the Premiership football, Champions League football, sorry, and put the fucking subscription up £6. Then 2 months ago, they put the subscription up another £6. We're paying for this. Then you've got Nick Halen and fucking Daft Ass Jim Watt on the fucking live on the show. It's not really about the opponent. How's it not about the opponent? If it's not about the opponent, why are we paying to fucking watch this? Why are people paying to go and attend?
For fuck's sake.
Every time.
You're back. For fuck's sake. Yeah, keep going, mate.
Right. Where was I? It's not Halen, it's not really about the opponent. You had Martin Murray fighting. Every opponent that the matchroom guys were facing there were at least one division away from where they should have been. They're absolute. Do you see the guy that Tommy Coyle was fighting? He had a pair of fucking shorts on that looked like fucking dungarees. Absolutely embarrassing. You've got fucking, who else was on the undercard? Martin Murray was fighting a fucking, every one of them absolute bums. Paul Smith, he opened up the show at fucking 5:05 against a taxi driver. Hosea Burton fought somebody that works in the local chippy after. Callum Johnson beat a guy that's been knocked out 3 times in his last 5 fights. How's that even getting sanctioned? What is this gaining, these guys fighting absolute fucking shite? They're not they're gaining more for sparring. Surely they're learning more and bettering themselves in sparring than that. How can he justify charging people to watch that? Absolute fucking shite. And see the people that have been fucking sending them texts and saying, oh, it was absolutely, it was absolutely brilliant quality night of boxing. Fuck off. You haven't got a fucking clue. If you think that's a quality night of boxing, just choose a new sport. Fucking shite.
You mean kill yourself, Andy? That's what you mean.
I'm not as aggressive as that, but fuck off, basically. Aye. Somebody else take up. But Hearn's a cunt, and it was an absolute fucking disgrace. 2 seconds, one last thing.
Yeah, go on, Andy. Yeah.
Just quickly. He's had some really, really bad shows, right? See, in the last 6 to 8 months, there's been some right shockers, and that card on Saturday night was by far the worst. And know what else is bad? They cut out the show that we're fighting that. The fighters were fighting guys that were that overmatched that they'd fucking half an hour of action. So then they cut live to go to the Chisora Pulev fight. So the audience was sitting in that arena for over an hour with nothing on.
It had been on the TV.
No, it wasn't.
Was it not?
No, it was nothing.
There's no TV there though.
Sweet Caroline was on repeat.
So that
20
crowd,
times.
Can you imagine paying for a ticket there and you're sat in that crowd for over an hour with nothing going on? You paid your money and you've got 30 minutes of action, and then you've got an hour downtime with nothing before the main event starts. It's fucking absolutely disgusting. And I'll tell you what, people are cottoning on. There's people that have defended him for years, and they're realising this guy is nothing but a fucking snake, an absolute fucking con man. He's dicked up, and at least dicked up and wore a fucking mask. And I'll tell you what, people are realising, and his fucking day will come when he fucking realises you can't take people, you can't take your customers for fucking mugs like that, because it's fucking disgusting. Pricks.
Well, Andy, you were at the fucking Frampton Quig card, right? And it was exactly the same there. Can you remember there was a 45-minute wait between, was it Gavin McDonnell, who was chief support, and the Frampton Quig fight? And all he did was put fucking American Pie Sweet Caroline.
On loop.
On loop, and that's all he'll have done for that fucking hour, and just hope dickheads sing along, coke took dickheads sing along, and
we did.
And you
sang
did.
along.
I did as well, yeah. Well, we've all fallen for it. So what can you complain? No, it is. That's just his method. There was a 45-minute wait between Gavin McDonnell versus some fucking retard and Carl Frampton, Scott Quigg. And if there's an hour to wait between, I can't even remember what the fight was, and then Crawler versus Barroso, they'll have just pumped it full of like fucking the Out There Brothers, boom, 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 Sweet Caroline, American Pie, and just hoped the knobheads didn't notice that there was no fighting going on in the fucking ring.
It's the Out Here Brothers. It's actually the Out Here Brothers.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. Apologies, Out Here Brothers, if you're listening.
I fell asleep through the undercard. I woke up about 2:30, really disorientated because I was downstairs sweating. I was like, "What the fuck has happened here?" It was just abysmal. Like
downstairs, where in Pizza Hut?
Fuck off. No. No,
I woke up in Pizza Hut sweating.
I woke up with garlic and herb sauce all over my face. I don't know what was going on. No,
That's what
just.
That's how they call it.
It's just awful, isn't it? It's like this year's been abysmal for him, but that's the worst one by far.
How shite was it? Because I didn't watch any. How bad was it? Explain it to me so I can build up this hate again.
Ryan, I honestly think that Frampton versus Quigg card was worse. I really do think that. It was. Apart from Frampton Quigg, that was worse.
No,
that was a shit card.
Saturday night was the worst card he's fucking put out. It was horrendous, Brad.
You mental.
You had a couple of names, right? You'd obviously like Martin Murray.
Terrible fight.
They were all just, mate, they were...
Martin Murray...
I'm sorry, guys. I forgot about Marco McCulloch versus Isaac Lowe. That was a fucking cracker.
Do you know what else I've just realised? The co-main event, remember, was on Saturday was meant to be Adil Anwar versus Shane Singleton. That ended up getting moved to like the second fight on the card. That was fucking... That was a card that was a fight. It was, don't get me wrong, it was alright. But it was a fight that should have been like, on an opener, on another card. It was fucking
every
totally
fight should have been there. Fucking Tommy Coyle fighting that bomb. That was the last fucking fight that was on in that fucking shitty arena before Crawler fought. They had fucking Coyle against that bum, and Coyle got fucking hurt by him. That's how bad he is. He got hurt by a guy who could fucking...
boom, boom, boom.
That is the fucking worst card. That's not even just the worst card that he's put on. That's the worst card that any promoter's put on in this fucking country in the past year. He can't get out of fucking jail because the Crawler fight was fucking decent. It's a world title fight. It's supposed to be fucking decent. You can't. And he's bullshit. Oh, paid Crawler well. Who gives a fuck if you're paying well? And it's not him paying it. It's all these fucking idiots.
You can't expect credit for the headline fight being good. Headline fights are meant to be good. Yeah. That's why headline fights.
But what's he fucking thinking with that? Oh, I'll have one, and let's get fucking serious. It was a good fight. It's not like a fucking unreal. Oh, it's an elite level fucking super fight. It's a good fight. Tommy Coyle
it was a mandatory, wasn't it? It was a mandatory.
Tommy Coyle fighting a bum. Yeah, but it's a decent mandatory, not a Kelvin mandatory. Yeah. But then you've got Tommy Coyle fighting someone who drove his fans up on bus. You've got fucking Paul Smith fighting in front of his dad and fucking toilet cleaner. You've got Jose Berta, who's got a fight lined up at fucking on the value card, fighting someone smaller than my fucking nephew. Like,
right. Here's a quick one. Just to chop it up a bit. I prepared a question earlier. Rank the 4 cards from best to worst. Okay, so we've got Saturday nights, and this is including the undercard as well. You've got to take it as a total package. Saturday night, Crawler Barroso, Quigg Frampton, including the undercard, which is so bad I cannot remember a single fight from it. I can't remember any of them. I never watched them. I don't even know the results. Nothing. The Joshua Gavin Newcastle show from. Was that last year? That
was last May, because it was around the May Pac time. In fact, was it not the same night as May with Pacquiao?
Was that the night Garrido beat Saunders?
No, it wasn't.
No, that was a different one.
That was much later than
that. Was fucking magical.
That was the Olympia, that was...
Get with it, Tom. We moved on from Garrido 6 months ago.
Fuck off.
Guys, last one. So Newcastle was number 3, and then the last one is the undercard to the Coyle Campbell show. Remember,
I've got a word. You've missed a worse one. The worst.
one?
Birmingham.
Not even Birmingham. Birmingham's bad. But what about when
Newcastle.
fucking? No. What
No,
about when Eubank fought fucking Johnny
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Right?
Okay.
That is the only card that can compete with fucking Saturday.
No, Saturday
Take
was the worst.
Brampton out then. It had a good main event.
One at a time.
There was one competitive fight on the fucking the Tony Jeter versus Eubank. Well, the fight that actually came on after the Eubank fight, that was no too bad. On Saturday night, there was the show was actually on for 5.5 hours, nearly 6 hours, and you had 32 minutes of action before the main event. It was terrible. It was really think of the worst matchroom cards you've ever seen. Right, that's nothing, and I mean nothing compared to how bad that was. These guys infighting guys, and I'm not even joking. These guys, they weren't even journeymen. They were like fucking club area fighters. It was shocking.
Yeah, but what's
I think you can tell how bad it was because of how sarcastic and snappy Hearn was all week. Like he clearly wasn't getting any compliments on the card being good, not even from casuals. And he was starting to get really chippy, wasn't he, with everyone who took the piss. And people who were, someone tweeted him, is this really what I pay 80 quid a month for Sky to see 3 TBAs, on a Thursday night when they're fighting on Saturday? Is Paul Smith getting an opponent on 24 hours notice? That is not what I pay 50 quid a month for. And Hearn was replying saying Hearn was replying saying things like, doesn't your mum pay for it? You still live at home.
He gets dead personal, doesn't he? You can tell when he's pissed off because he gets really personal, like either about the appearance or just anything.
But
Always.
if we slate a show that's been successful, like when we slate Joshua, Hearn will reply saying like, well, 20,000 people in the arena loved it, right? Which is a comeback that makes sense. But this time, he wasn't saying that because no one was really on his side at all. He was saying something like, you're a virgin, you just spend all day wanking in your bedroom. And what was the classic one? He said, someone said, we've got 5 more years of this shit since they gave him an exclusive deal. And he replied, we'll probably renew for another decade after that. And then he sent like a little kiss emoticon. And he was just properly like, he's openly saying, I don't give a shit what any of you think.
But the thing is, we all think that Sky have the control here, and they don't really because his dad's got the darts, and they're terrified that he'll take them away. That's what this all comes down to. Once that's not the issue, then they'll fuck this off. He can get away with blue murder because they don't want Barry to set the darts to fucking BT or somewhere else. That's it. There's nothing else about it. He could literally every single week put Anthony Joshua defending his belt against Robin Deakin on, and Sky wouldn't pull out. They'll leave it while having the darts there.
Andy, sorry, you brought Barry up. This reminds me, I saw a really funny tweet earlier where it was Barry arguing with someone about, they'd asked him if he'd, they said, oh, I bet you didn't even watch Khan or something. And Barry said, I've been a boxing fan for 50 years. I never miss a fight at home or abroad. And then the next day, someone had asked him, the week before, someone had asked him if he was staying up for the fights in Vegas. And he replied, I'm a 65-year-old man. It's British only for me. Just a complete contradiction of what he said the week before. Absolutely hilarious. They're so full of.
It was actually.
You got the quote. Sorry, Andy. Go on.
It was actually somebody had said, "Are you watching Canelo?" And he says, "No, it's a bit too late for me. Sky is the only way forward."
Sky is the only way forward.
Sky is the only way forward.
Who says that?
Barry Hearn. Hold on, I'll pull the tweet up and I'll try and find it. I'll show you it.
It's a really funny one.
While we're on about it, I'm just going to give an honourable mention because that fucking card with Liam Smith on, where he's fighting that bum, that's going to be a fucking vile one as well, which might rival that on Saturday.
I'm going to that as well.
What did you say?
I was told that he was
what did you tell
Toro.
us? It don't matter who told you. What did you tell us?
I said he's fighting Toro.
Another L.
I don't know what's going on with Sorrow. He doesn't have a fight shed. He hasn't fought in a year now. He hasn't got
the other day he's just sorted his promotional issues out, so he should be fighting against them.
He's really good, Sorrow. Honestly, he's a really, really slick, and he can punch as well.
Yeah,
and I think he would comfortably beat Smith, which is why it probably won't happen. But did you see? Someone tweeted this earlier as well. I don't want to. This is going to be. This will win Value of the Week on Sunday, but we'll nick it off the asylum for now. Francis Warren. Sorry, not Francis Warren. what's the brother? George Warren, is it, or whatever? You know, the other one, his brother. Frank's other son, anyway. He tweeted that Austin Trout had taken the easy option against Charlo, and who can blame him? No one wants to fight Beefy or something like that in the division. And then he announces some guy who got knocked out of Felix Sturm like 18 months ago, you know, and Sturm's been completely shot for 3 years. Absolutely hilarious. Let's not waste time on that because we've got other members of the Smith family to hate. I'd like to draw everyone's attention to Paul Smith's video interview with James Helder, which I believe was filmed on Saturday, right?
You fat bastard! You fat bastard! You fat bastard!
Shep, I've got interests in this, personal interests, due to the nature of the interview. Now we'll get on to it shortly.
Tell your story. Well, okay. I'll tell you what. I'll frame it for you. So Smith started out as he always does. Helder called him champ. I assume that was a joke in the beginning of the interview. He talked about how fighting a bin man on 24 hours notice wasn't really that bad. A bin man with a losing record, by the way, that we all paid 50 quid a month to watch. He then said, I'm not banging down the door demanding world title fights, but of course I want a third shot, which, again, contradicting himself, didn't make any sense. Thinks fighting a bin man on 24 hours notice qualifies him to get another shot at a world title. He's not ranked. I don't think he's in the top 50 in the division, maybe not even the top 100. I don't think he's ranked by any of the sanctioning bodies, and it will be outright corruption if he gets a shot. But at about the 9-minute mark of this interview, Smith decides to start talking about social media and his love-hate relationship with it. And he focuses on a very specific insult that he received. Right, there we go. Tom might not be on the pod again for a while, but he died as he lived, as they say, in a blaze of glory.
Glory?
We are completely different about Paul Smith. I would like to retract everything I've said during the last 9 months about him and his family. We are not in any way associated with the comments Tom just made. But in all seriousness,
genuinely we're not.
The interview is very, very. That was a little bit too far, but the interview is very funny, and I suggest you all watch it because Smith is such a hypocrite. It's genuinely very funny to watch. Guys, moving swiftly on.
I just
sorry, Leon, jump in,
didn't
mate.
get a chance to talk about how bad that undercard was. Just quickly getting away from that. That was shocking. It was one of the worst undercards I've ever seen. I think I said when I was messaging Brian about coming on the show tonight, I said to him that I've seen my dog. I've been walking my dog, and he's a horrible dog, my dog, and I'd seen him eat a shit, and that was a horrible thing, but I'd rather have watched that on repeat for 5 hours than watch that undercard. It was shocking. The worst undercard I've come across in a long, long time.
I like the way you said, let's move this on in a really mature way, and then went on to an analogy about your dog eating its own shit.
No, a human shit. It was worse than that. My dog's disgusting. He's fully disgusting. But I didn't have any way to sum it up because I didn't watch it. I didn't need to watch it because you could just read it on BoxRec and go, ugh.
Honestly, like, I've had the tweets come up, you know, the tweets of like the highlight KOs that Matchroom put up, those little videos where they're 20 seconds long. I'm not interested enough to watch a 20-second clip of the knockout. Honestly, I don't care. Like, I'm glad Crawler won, but I just don't give a shit. I don't want to get involved in British boxing at all at the moment. I'm not. It's just like if a Brit goes abroad and fights like Khan did, I'll watch that happily. And obviously, you want British guys to do well, but I'm not interested in Matchroom shows at the moment. I've got no interest in it. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to watch Brazil against Joshua. I'm not going to watch this. Oh, what's the fucking co-main? Groves against Murray or some shit.
Like that's a gift.
7 world title losses between them, and they think that's a pay-per-view co-main event. Absolutely ridiculous. They want us to pay for the privilege of watching Martin Murray.
I mean, honestly, even in not this year, last year, I saw good fights. I saw Hibbett versus Ryan 2 and 3. They were good fights. Why couldn't he give us something like that? What's happened? He used to have these he had those kind of welterweights and light welterweights who were kind of domestic level, who is always the second or first fight on, and they were always decent fights because they were well-matched people, right? But he didn't even give us that. It was just like, I've been to better exhibition fights. you know, like dinner exhibition fights, better cards. I've seen better fights at those events than was on my TV I paid for. It's fucking outrageous.
Genuinely like a small hall show, wasn't it, in terms of the quality of the matchups? And,
Well,
that's filling an arena. Like it's absurd.
But they weren't even. They were complete. I mean, every fight must have been 100, 1 to 100, right? Every single fight. I mean, it's like he brought a van load, without being horrible, it looked like he brought a van load of them and just put, all right, let's get them all on. It was shocking.
We've just had a really good question, literally just now, on this topic from Macho Grande, El Chief. Leon, you can have a go at this one if you want, mate.
Go on, then.
Do you think Hearn will put Crawler on pay-per-view in the future or from the next fight and use the purse against Barroso as justification? Because that could be a Hearn tactic, I think.
I mean, Crawler is a good. I mean, let's be honest. This is going to sound fucking horrible, but it was a dream come true. What the horrible incident that happened to Crawler. Eddie Hearn knew he could make something out of that, and he can still use that, and it's definitely helped Crawler. He sold out a lot of tickets at that, and that was impressive. So I don't trust Hearn not to have a go at that, because you know he's got a nice guy there, a good fighter there. So you could see that happening if they stack the cards.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you got maybe Crawler against Linares, who's fought here before, people know him, and then you put on a genuinely like the Royal Britannia card last year. If you put on something like that, maybe Kell Brook on the undercard, or I don't know, Callum Smith against a genuine test against a guy like I don't know. Well, I don't want to say Boots. I don't think that would be a particularly good fight, but a name opponent.
Do something. The other thing I've noticed is if they start getting higher up the BBC website, you always know that there's a kind of casual thing happening. And Crawler has been consistently on that BBC Sport website ever since the horrible accident happened.
Yeah, and he's like
building
like
something,
news, isn't he? Like they're writing big articles about him in newspapers now, where they never used to cover his fights at all.
Yep. So it could. The answer to that question is yes, he could do it.
Guys, open the question up. Would you pay for a Crawler headline pay-per-view?
Depends who against, doesn't it? Obviously I wouldn't pay for it. Whether I'd be happy that other people pay for it is a different story. Because I would just stream it anyway or go around a casual's house to watch it.
I'm of a similar mindset. Like with the Brooke Gavin card, I just went. To me, that was good enough to buy a ticket and go and see it. So I just went. I wouldn't have ordered it on telly, but I would have paid and gone to the arena and watched it.
Seeing Mitchell take a loss is worth it anyway, innit, for the ticket value alone. Seeing him get beat up.
I was.
In that right, Leon?
Yep.
I was surrounded by.
You're not getting me.
I was surrounded by like a proper sort of Hammers East End boys for that fight, and I could see they were sort of every time Mitchell would take 10 punches, land 2 back, and they would cheer. And I sort of said to the guy in front of me, like, I've got Mitchell losing this fight, even with the knockdown. And I got yelled at, like, what the fuck are you talking about? And all these guys just going, all with their West Ham shirts on. And then when he got stopped, I had to sort of stay quiet. But I was absolutely...
I like to call them family, Shep.
Yeah. The Mitchell family, yeah. Brian, you've been stunned into silence, mate.
Honestly, I don't really want to say nothing. I can get a laugh and a joke and all that, but I said in the WhatsApp chat, man, I'm fucking para here, man. That could really. That comment could fucking put us in a right bad position here.
We told you what he would fucking do.
I fucking said, right, he's never coming on here again, and just so everyone knows, we don't agree with that bullshit. He's an attention-seeking fucking maggot. I said he'd do it beforehand. It's not fucking, that's too far.
Yeah, we agree with everyone in the chat that was a bit too far.
That's too far. He will not be back on here. No,
right.
That's edited out.
We're probably going to have to delete this episode, everyone. FYI, if you're not listening live.
Yeah. So if you've listened live, you'll get to hear it, but that's probably not going anywhere.
Right, what was talking about there? Because I was in a wee bit of fucking daze here for about 5 minutes.
Would you? Well, not you. Obviously, wouldn't pay for it. But do you think Hearn would put Crawler on pay-per-view? And if you do, who would he bring over to do it with?
For Linares? Well, for a fact they'll put like, but I don't know, like. Crawler versus Linares, Quigg versus McDonald, and Etches versus Ryder or something like that. They'll maybe do a bit top heavy like Mank fights or something like that. Maybe stick something else on there. Or maybe Hearn would kind of fucking grow a conscience, which he's not got, the dirty fucking scum bastard. But maybe try and like turn around and say like Don Yari, what the fuck am I getting that for Don Yari? I just went all fucking fatty there, didn't I? Just say to Don Yari, right, that this is your big fight. Unless like Don Yari wants to go for Rigo, which I find that fight fucking more interesting now than ever, because I think Rigo's slipping and I think Don Yari still got it. Got enough left. I think that fight would be a bit more competitive. But just offer Don Yari the fight, and then you've got Quigg, Don Yari, Linares, Crawler, and whatever on the undercard, fucking Bobby Sands versus fucking Paddy McCourt or something like that. Look, Crawler's going to be a pay-per-view fighter. Like, seriously, see any time Hearn gets a good win, the first thing he thinks is a pay-per-view fighter is this guy's the best fighter in the division, and they end up failing shortly afterwards. As soon as they step up to proper world class, they get beat, and then it's like pay-per-view. And it always going on about like he makes out as if he's trying. He needs to put fights on pay-per-view to get these fighters over here, which we've all seen that he puts fights on pay-per-view that are absolutely fucking trash anyway. And I'm not one of these people that, I've said this before and I didn't get a good reaction here. I'm not one of these people here that like give a fuck. Oh, I'm just here to, I'm trying to get the boxers paid. I couldn't give a fuck if a boxer gets 10 quid a week. I do not give a fuck. I do not pay my Sky money so some fucker gets paid. The only way I give money for somebody else's benefit is when I give it to charity for like the SSPCA or the cruelty to children, stuff like that. I'm not a fucking charity here. Sky Sports is not a fucking charity. I don't want Crawler getting overpaid for fighting some cunt. I mean, this is his most dangerous fight. I asked Eddie Hearn, and obviously we're all fucking blocked or muted, right? How do you know Barroso is a fucking dangerous fighter? You've seen next to fucking nothing of him. Eddie Hearn is a box rec fucking promoter. He's admitted he's looked up box rec before he make fights. He's also admitted on the asylum he doesn't watch boxing because he's so entrenched in it. He's not got enough time and he doesn't want to spend his days off watching boxing. So how the fuck are you going to tell us that these opponents are so big, so hard? This is a test. Exactly. You need to pay people this amount of money because it. Fuck off, mate, man. I'll tell you one thing. Eddie Hearn's a fucking casual. He doesn't know fuck all about boxing. He knows how to make money. He doesn't know nothing about boxing. You see, when you hear him talk about fighting or styles or anything, he does not have a fucking clue, you big lanky streak of shit.
But he wasn't a dangerous fighter when he pushed my boy under a fucking train, was he? Barroso wasn't a dangerous fighter then.
Of course not, because
but now he's a dangerous fight because he knocked out your boy.
But why did he make the Barroso fight? It was not because he thought Barroso was a hard fight. He made him because
he thought Mitchell would win, and then Mitchell would get easy title grab.
Get the Crawler fight because he had that all lined up, and then right. But I do not believe any fight on this world is pay-per-view. I do not believe that Floyd v Manny was pay-per-view. I'm a socialist, right? In my heart, I'm a fucking socialist, right? I do not fucking feel that cunts should be getting this sort of money, right? And just because somebody pays for it doesn't mean it's worth it. It's because some cunt's fucking stupid enough to pay for it. See if like, boxing promoters or the TV networks refuse to pay the money, like HBO are doing, eventually boxers' purses are going to have to come down to a reasonable level where eventually they're going to get paid what they're worth, not what fuckers are willing to pay. But the difference is over here in England, there's that many fucking Mongos that are prepared to pay for anything, that Hearn can put anything on pay-per-view. It's not like over America where cunts will just like, I'm not fucking watching that. Let's see this Crawford Postal going on pay-per-view. I hope that doesn't do enough to cover the cost. I know they says that Golovkin Lemieux, that made so much money like at the gates, right, and the pay-per-views I think covered the cost because most of the fighters were on a lot of money. I don't want fights to make. I don't want fights to do well on pay-per-view. I don't want fuck all on pay-per-view. Right? I don't want nothing. I don't want fighters getting fucking paid millions and millions because see the way boxing's going. It's going the same way as footballers. They're getting paid that amount of money. They don't get any fucking hunger. PBC, no cunt wants to fight each other. You've got Danny Garcia's dad saying it's not about the glory, it's about the bank. I'm like, you're a cunt, mate. I wouldn't mind if some cartoon shot you in the fucking heat. Right?
These people are fucking leeches. They are fucking leeches because they have turned one of the few working class sports left, and they make the fuckers pay for it. Do you know what I mean? It's like this isn't for everyone. You go to fights. It's made up of like working men, isn't it? And that's the sport that we're made to pay for. It's fucking outrageous. They're robbing people. They're robbing people who probably don't make that much money.
Is it working men? A bit. bit gross. I won't be going to another show, thank you.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, mate. The barriers to entry for boxing now for fans are ridiculously high. Like, it's the fact that you can go and watch a game of cricket, and I know I'm going to sound really posh saying this, but you can go and watch a game of cricket, bring your own booze in, and have a night out, 5 hours entertainment for about 20 quid. And think about, and you could do that once a week. You know, there's a game of cricket on for 20 quid around the country. You know,
cricket for sex offenders.
You can go night out, right? That's a night out. You can bring 6 cans with you to watch. I don't know. Sorry, play cricket, and that's a night out. At boxing, you're paying 7 quid a pint or whatever it is at the O2. You've got little plastic bottles that you can't take to your seat. You're paying £200 for a ticket. You're paying for Sky every month. You're paying pay-per-view every 6 weeks or whatever it is with Joshua now. It's thousands of pounds a year. It's absurd. Like, the barriers to entry are ridiculous.
What you find now is Hearn, as much as we bad mouth him and all that, he's a marketing genius. And what he now does, he does not talk about boxing as in a sport. He talks about it as a night out. So see, when you talk about going a night out, you automatically, I don't know about you fuckers in London, man, a night out must cost you a fucking crisis loan. But a night out up here, depending if you're like Cal, where you buy like a quarter of coke and MDMA and stuff like that, right? But see up here, man, you could go to the fucking pub or something like that and blow 100 quid. So Hearn's marketed it the way that a boxing night out is a fucking night out with a fucking bird and all. He talks about getting dogged up. No, see when I see fuckers go dressed up as if they're going to the Oscars, and I'm standing there with a pair of Nike Air Max jeans and a fucking hoodie on, I'm like, you're a fucking fags, mate. Where are you going to go after this? The fucking dancing when you're stinking a fucking stale beer. But that's a good thing about Hearn. He markets everything fucking well. It's a night out. It's no longer like boxing, and that's what I fucking hate. All the fags sitting down ringside and all that. Oh, Eddie Hearn gives a fucking selfie. You know what? Selfie this and give him the fucking fingers. But nothing's pay-per-view. Fuck every pay-per-view. I encourage every cunt not to buy fuck all. I don't. See, I love Ricky Burns, right? See if they put Ricky Burns on pay-per-view, I'd go fucking ballistic. Absolute fucking ballistic. Nothing is pay-per-view. I remember they tried darts once, pay-per-view, and it fucking bombed, and they never ever done it again. And this is what people need to realise. Could you imagine if they turned around and says we're going to put Champions League on pay-per-view? Cunts would fucking absolutely start running down streets, planning Wendy's in and all that. They go fucking mental. Boxing fans are the biggest fucking weirdos on the planet. They will pay for absolutely anything, and their attitude is it's only $16.95. That is an absolute fucking Tory way of thinking. It doesn't matter how much something costs. See, if you shouldn't be paying it, you should not be fucking paying it. See, I mean, it's only 20 quid a month. So I tell you what then, see if Matchroom say, I tell you, we're going to bring in like a boxing channel, or it's only 20 quid a month. Oh, there you go, that's only 120 quid a month. It doesn't fucking matter. You should be getting that in your price anyway. Sky is enough. Sky is a fucking fortune. See, when I phoned up to cancel Sky, they're like, your bill's only 120 quid. So what do you mean it's only 120 quid? Do you know how much that is, you fucking bam, just to watch the fucking telly? I'm only want to watch Cristiano Ronaldo and the boxing, and you're not fucking giving me that. Fucking cancel it, you wee boot. Then she tries to offer me a discount. I'm like, no. And then my nephew works for Sky and got me it for nothing, so I took it. Fucking right on about that, eh? I fucking hate Sky, but I like it for nothing. Yeah.
I've got the yeah, Brian. I feel the same way. I've got the Box Nation, the online subscription where you stream it on the computer and stuff.
I pay for Box Nation for international fights. It's worth every fucking penny. Box Nation.
Yeah, it is. And I've had it for about 4 years now, and it's always been, I think it's $11.99 a month or $12.99, and it's always been that. It's never gone up. if they put it up to 20 quid, I just cancel immediately because unless they're going to double the amount of output, I'm not paying more for the same shit. Like, it doesn't make sense. And Sky are constantly, you'll start seeing. We predicted, didn't we, before that they'd start nudging up AJ prices, and within a couple of years it'll be $19.99 for an AJ fight. And people will say, oh, it's only a couple of quid extra, and it's like, well, it's not really the point. Like, if the price goes up, the product has to get better, but it never does. And if anything, we've demonstrably proven that it's getting worse. Right, guys, we've all been a little bit shell-shocked by what happened earlier. So I'm really sorry to everyone who sent in questions that I haven't read out yet. I think what we might do, there really isn't anything to preview this week. There's very little going on.
We might just do one later in the week just to...
Yeah. We might do our hot list plan, but Tom's ruined it. So
we could just have a bit of a call-in show or something.
Nah, see Thursday, whenever we're going to do it, one of the days we'll just hit a fucking mad random one. But we'll just
get Chris calling in and just do a. Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Let's do a rapid fire panel show on Thursday or something. And actually, anyone who wants to call in, please do, because it's always good to debate.
Aye, but do you also want to steal the idea of everybody else? Like HBO, you want to do a mailbag edition?
Wanker.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm Eric Raskin. Eric Raskin's a fucking faggot. I know you talked him shit.
Raskin's nice, mate. Raskin's honestly
knows. He's a fucking fag. He's a pure fucking bail end.
He was at Gatty Ward 1. That commands respect. He's there.
I think he's a poof. In fact, I tell you that.
He's married with children.
Yeah, he's got kids.
So was Michael Barrymore.
And Elton John, and he's straight. So, all right.
Well, Keir McAvaney, he's not got a burden. He's in his 50s and he stays himself.
Right,
Let's finish on a joke. Roy Hodgson is the worst pool manager since Michael Barrymore. Right? You like that? It's 4 years old now, 5 years old, but I still find it funny.
Right, Shep, you should call out everyone that hated on you on that poll as well. They should call in on Thursday. Tell you why you're such a cunt.
Yeah, please. I've done this before where people who are all mouth on Twitter, like wee little Declan, with his 15-year-old mates, sneaking a beer. But I saw him on Manchester. Did you see? Everyone see the photo?
The lads.
They saved up and got a beer between the three of them to share. It was quite sweet. But yeah, a lot of these people have a lot of opinions on Twitter. But then when we want them to call in so we can actually have a discussion and a debate, they go quiet. So, and guys, it's not a challenge, please. It's fun to debate these things. And it's boring when because we all agree with each other most of the time. And these guys are idiots, and I need a bit more mental stimulation. So, if anyone can provide it, preferably not Tom under a different name calling in. but yeah, please, we'll have a call in, talk about anything you want. So we could do a review of the year so far. There really is nothing on this weekend that's worth watching. I mean, Lee Haskins is going to dominate in a routine title defense, but that's about it. Right, Sam?
Yeah, Lee Haskins does what Lee Haskins does, mate.
There's no chance he's going to lose or even look bad. It's just not going to happen. I've just... Crawford is announcing his next fight tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern time. That's from the Top Rank account.
I wonder if he could be fighting.
It must be possible. I've heard for months that fight is done.
I hope he's ringside fucking Ricky Burns v De Rocco and link for a unification match. A rematch. Ricky wasn't right.
Brian, we did actually have one question to finish on, which was someone asked if you're actually going to the Burns fight. Are you or not?
Who asked that?
Let me just get it up.
Was it Mick?
It was Boxing Banter.
Oh, fucking hell!
I don't think it was sinister. He just said, "Is Brian going to go and watch Burns?"
He wants to a fight.
No, that's probably fucking Barracks. I am not going.
No, Boxing Banter's that's an old. He's got 5,000 tweets. It's quite an old account, I think.
But I think I've blocked Boxing Banter just for the fact he had banter in his fucking name.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I know what you mean. So yeah, but you're not going, or are you not going to say?
I'm going.
Oh, you are? Oh, good. I thought you weren't for some reason. Okay. Pops, are you going?
He's gone, but he is.
He's going. He's ringside.
In the corner. He's working in the corner. Right. So, guys,
right.
Yeah, sorry, we're a little bit shocked by the sudden news and Tom's untimely passing.
He
So
won't be on here again. That's
yeah, it's very unlikely we'll ever be heard from again. And we are going to have to take this show down, obviously, but we will edit it and re-upload it in a few hours.
And now you've just told everyone what the bit we've edited, so they'll be wondering, what the fuck did they edit if they haven't listened to this live?
Yeah, but they'll never hear it, so it doesn't matter.
I'm
We're
sorry.
not denying that we ever said it. We're admitting that it was wrong and removing it from the show because it was.
removing him from the show.
Does anyone in the chat want to see my cock before we go?